Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you fuckers in the UK. Welcome to Keyboard Warriors, presented by Crossroads MMA. My name is Eddie Law. That's Aaron Robbins, and of course, my boy Fred Kirby. Let's start off with Fred here. We're obviously going to talk about the events from this weekend, but I want to get into the announcements from Bellator 145. Because I basically want to get like the most honest opinion out of you. Royce Gracie against Ken Shamrock is going to main event a card in Houston. Your first thoughts when you heard that shit?
I gotta say, man, Bellator has a way of surprising me. Even with them in this landscape doing the crazy shit they do, when they brought those two fuckers out, I was like, you pricks even surprise me now. I gotta hand it to you. It's horrible on pretty much every level, man. I mean, God. I can't imagine who would want to see this fight after seeing what happened with Ken and Kimbo. And then that's the thing. The co-main is Kimbo Slice and Dada 5000.
Yeah.
Which is fucking cute, but, I don't know, man. It sounds like a horrible idea on a couple levels. I suppose they will get some kind of numbers out of Ken Shamrock and Royce Gracie because people are that fucking stupid, and there'll be shitbird fucking casuals out there that still think that Royce Gracie has somewhat of any kind of business being in a cage, him or fucking Ken Shamrock. And so maybe they'll get some numbers, some eyeballs on this event, and if they can throw MVP on there and a couple other young guys that are actually talented, then maybe this whole little scheme could work. But nobody knows who the fuck Dada 5000 is. Even like hardcore fight fans. I mean, the guy's just he's like a Kimbo Slice that never got famous, man. So I feel like they could definitely be using Kimbo Slice in a better way. Mm-hmm. Give him some kind of remote heavyweight that matters. And yeah, dog, I don't know. Ken Shamrock and Royce Gracie is just fuck, man. Can it get sanctioned? They're doing it in Texas, so good old Texas.
Texas will take everything. Yeah, but look, it's a ridiculous fucking fight. But Aaron, I've been wanting to know what you think of this shit.
I already saw it 20 years ago.
Yep. Literally, and it's almost exactly 20 years ago.
It was boring 20 years ago. Do you guys remember that fight? Like, I know that I got some years on you guys. I watched that fight, like, when it happened. And that shit took forever because Shamrock was afraid of a toe hold and Royce was afraid of getting punched. Those fuckers just, oh my God, was that tedious. Now they're both old as shit. I think that when Royce went into the ring with Matt Hughes, that was his swan song. We saw what the old man had left.
Sure.
I honestly do think that unless this is a work or a fix, because I know people are going to start with that whole thing, I just don't see Royce having the strength to deal with Ken, because Ken is most obviously a juice monkey.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, forget about it. I don't even know if they're testing this guy anymore, but the way that he looked before the Kimbo fight, come on. That's not clean living. Let's be realistic. And then the Dada 5000 versus Kimbo Slice, that's almost something out of like Cage Fury Part 3, some Netflix movie. You know what I mean? It's just like, what the hell? You got Kimbo Slice who somehow remains relevant even though he's not good in the cage. And then Dada 5000 is just, he's the shit that nightmares are made out of. Have you seen him?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a fucking frightening human being. It would be demoralizing just to get in the cage with him. I don't know if he can fight or not, but I'd be fucking terrified. So I'm actually interested in that. But Kirby's right, and that's probably what they'll do, is they will use the name recognition of the co-main and the main to try to drag people into watching some of the up-and-coming talent.
And Mike Jarvis just tweeted this over saying Royce might wear a gi.
Yeah, I've heard that they might actually end up letting him wear his gi. Another interesting thing about this fight is it's an open weight fight.
Yeah. Because there's no way Royce can't get up to Ken Shamrock's weight, and Ken Shamrock fucking for sure can't get down to Royce's weight. Royce is a bag of skin with a little bit of bone left in his body, and just a whole lot of anger and bullshit. Because he also wants to say that he wants to fight Ken Shamrock because he doesn't like the guy.
You know what?
Well, wait a second. Why is the gi relevant? Like, I understand you can do different chokes and different holds by grabbing onto your own gi sleeves and shit like that. But will Shamrock be able to grab his gi as well? Because then I would just grab him by his lapels and swing that skinny motherfucker right out of the cage.
Yep.
Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm sure Ken can. If he listen, man, the thing is, this fight's going to suck, right? It's two old dudes who have nothing left in the tank. They're going to be headlining the card. It's kind of silly in that regard that, I don't know, man. Nobody. How much juice can you squeeze out of these guys anymore? I thought, like you said, Hoist got it with Matt Hughes and Ken. I thought this shit with Kimbo was the swat. Come on, man. You're going to fucking do it again with these fucking guys? Jesus Christ.
If you want to do an epic rematch to where I might get excited about it, get Koscheck's ass in there with Daly.
Yep. That'd be the fight to make.
Sure,
you can main event that shit. You can main event that fight and get plenty of people to watch that shit because I'm for sure tuning into that.
No.
You got Josh Koscheck. He's got the name recognition from the Ultimate Fighter show, right? And that's where most of the casual fans all of a sudden turned into, yeah, I watch this stuff 10 years late. So you got that, and then you can pump up Paul Daly, with the whole Semtex thing and run if they can legally do it, but just like build up the whole thing how it was the punch after, and that's why Daly was removed from another organization for life. Build that shit up, but honestly, man, I cannot see how I could possibly get excited about these two old fucks going at it.
And speaking of age, speaking of the fact that they're old, 51 years old for Ken Shamrock, 48 for Hoist Gracie. Hoist Gracie hasn't fought since 2007 when he beat Sakuraba by decision at K1 Heroes Dynamite. It's circus fight. It's completely horseshit. You know what I mean? And it makes me wonder. I mean, what do you think Scott Coker's doing with this? I mean, I understand what he's doing for the most part, trying to get eyeballs, trying to get views. Everything's about getting more views. Getting more people to watch your shit and getting advertisers to pay you, right? But I thought Scott Coker was supposed to bring legitimacy. That was the whole idea, right? To bring legitimacy to Bellator.
Here's my thing, man. With how much the UFC has been fucking up lately, it just seems like Scott Coker would just calm down, man. Just put on good, solid cards. Like this last card. Just put on one good, solid card after another, and just let the Fertittas and Dana White just dog fuck the UFC like they have been for the last year and a half with their stupid-ass T-shirts and the Reebok deal and all the fighters coming out, against them and stuff like that. We've already said this time and time again. Bellator is never going to raise themselves up to the level of the UFC, but given enough time, UFC might fuck the dog enough to come down to Bellator's level.
They're sure working on it. Fuck. I mean, left and right. UFC's fucking everything up.
Listen, here's the thing, man. So I think this is all very stupid. But as far as Bellator is concerned, I think it's a good move. Because you're right. They're never going to get to the UFC's level. No matter what, the UFC just has way too many fighters. It's way too much ground for them to make up. Even if they fucking could pick up a John Jones or somebody, it's still one fighter in a sea of hundreds that Bellator doesn't have. So they kind of need shit like this, man. I mean, listen, we just spent the fucking first 10, 15 minutes of this program talking about that shit show. It worked, kind of. You know what I mean? Will the fight suck? Absolutely. Yeah. Will my funny ass be watching it? You betcha. So, I mean...
Since we wasted this much time, why don't we talk about the last card? Daniel Strauss finally gets it done. Finally gets that championship back. Will Brooks does what he does, which makes the argument is why is Will Brooks still in Bellator?
Because their contracts are disgusting.
Yeah, I'll tell you, though, he's one of those guys I'd really love to see in the mix in the UFC. Maybe Daniel Strauss, too, because that guy's no joke until he loses focus. He's a beaster. And did you see his hand?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. I saw the X-ray.
God.
Damn.
And he did that in the first round.
Yeah, I know. His hands look good in that fucking fight, though.
Ooh, yeah. Well, he looked good in all the fights right up until he gets rear naked choked. Looks like a black version of Frank Trigg.
Yeah, pretty much. And here's the thing, even with the busted hand, it was kind of like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna throw this bitch. But of course, after a little bit of time, your hand kind of numbs up on you to when you can throw that bitch real hard. But still, his hand was fucked up.
Okay, so here's the issue of Bellator, though, right? So what now? Who the fuck does Will Brooks fight? And who does Daniel Strauss fight? Do they give fucking Pitbull a rematch? They fucking might as well.
It was a decision win. It wasn't a
Would that
finish.
be their 4th time fighting?
Well, who's at 45 in
Yeah.
Bellator though, man? Behind them.
It's a good question. I don't know.
You know, I don't know. So that's the
I mean,
problem with Bellator, man. They got a few really good guys, but they don't have enough depth for it to matter. What the fuck was that kid's name? For Thomas Almeida?
yeah.
At 35. He's at 35, and I bet you he'd throw fucking Daniel Strauss a beating at 45. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'll tell you what, though, that Thomas Almeida, that kid is a star in the making. He's fucking something else. You know, we as Kirby would say, we fuck with Anthony Burchak.
Yeah.
God damn.
He straight fucking sniper snuffed old good old Anthony.
That was the fucking thunderstruck dirt face. Just fucking down memes immediately.
First of all,
I got
bitched at for posting that, by the way. I got bitched at for posting that.
I
bet you never got a fight in your life. I'm like, kill yourself. No one cares.
Who bitched at you for posting that?
Shit on Twitter was like, he's like butthurt, big old fucking Burchak fan. It was weird.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah, I'll tell you what
it is.
Yeah, you fucking throw your hat in the ring and you come up against a kid like Thomas Almeida. Let me tell you what, you better have your insurance policy paid up. That kid is straight snuffing fools. What is he, 21-0?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's undefeated as fuck.
Holy shit. That's like some sort. I mean, I don't care who he was fighting. That's pretty fucking amazing to never have a fluke. And now he's stepping up, and he's still straight snuffing guys. Give him a couple more years to develop. That guy's gonna be fucking scary.
And I'll tell you what you'll like about Dude. In his last fight, he got rocked by Brad Pickett, and then came back and fucking knocked him out. And you know, Dr. Philgood always liked to see somebody get their metal tested a little bit. He got the shit knocked out of him in that fight, and then came back and still finished it. So that kid is definitely. I know I completely jumped off topic there. We was talking about Bellator,
really.
but
You know, isn't he a shooter box product?
I don't know. I know he's Brazilian. Okay, quickly before we jump off of Bellator altogether, let's at least mention Bobby Lashley and James Thompson, the single leg herd round world.
And
it wasn't even like a knee injury. Apparently, he tore his hamstring.
Yeah. I know. He replied to somebody on Twitter. Somebody on Twitter that we fuck with said something like, "I blew my hamstring, you fucking twat." Ah, you big dummy. You fucking go back to Japan where you're relevant, Colossus.
I'll tell you what. The whole thing about that, right? In Bellator's talent pool, Bobby Lashley's unstoppable. I don't give a fuck. That dude is a straight fucking beast.
Yo, Bobby Lashley Kimbo.
Kimbo would get killed in that fight.
But come on, fucking Dada 5000. Let that motherfucker go fight Tank Abbott.
That's the fucking fight that came to my mind too, Bobby Lashley. But seriously, I would actually be concerned for the health and welfare of Kimbo Slice if Bobby Lashley got in there with him.
True, but at least it makes Bobby Lashley look like a killer.
But let me tell you what, there's no fucking way that Kimbo's going to get up if Bobby Lashley wants him to stay down. And he starts throwing all fucking 6,000 pounds of himself into Kimbo's head. Jesus Christ, to turn him into fucking peanut butter.
You know what, though? Bobby Lashley will not give a fuck either if Kimbo looks like he went out, okay? He's not stopping until the ref pulls his ass off.
Listen, quite frankly, that's a fight.
I tell you what, I like Bobby Lashley. I don't give a fuck how much juice that kid is on. Fuck it. Juice away, my boy. Just fucking smashing people. He's like a goddamn human wrecking ball.
Yeah, he's fun. That's definitely probably a fight that I'm sure old Bobby Lashley would salivate to get, because Kimbo's a huge name and he could probably look really impressive smashing him out. But
okay, so quick honorable mention. Michael Chandler, good job. Knocking the fuck out of the caveman. Will Brooks, good. I got to see the highlights. I was at a concert. So I missed the card, and of course, I rarely miss cards, right? Mm-hmm. The one weekend where I'm
happens to be great cards.
Both cards are awesome. Knockouts and submissions galore. Any Mike Jarvis, Munch, anybody who's watching this show, if you guys have streams to either Bellator or the UFC event, send them to my Twitter.
All right. Tell them your Twitter, because we never even say it anymore.
Doc_Robbins MMA.
All right. So some announcements made by at Bellator. Actually, they didn't make it at Bellator. This came out after. Kron Gracie's going to be fighting at Ryzen on New Year's Eve, I believe. And then King Mo is going to be entering Ryzen's light heavyweight Grand Prix, which is interesting, to say the least. And here's a weird fight. Gabby Garcia against some pro wrestler chick. Hey, yeah, look at Aaron's face. Gabby Garcia's going to fight somebody, and we're going to get to see this shit.
It's Japan, right?
Hey, I'll tell you what. She's a fucking legit Brazilian jiu-jitsu player.
Yup.
If that big old huge bitch gets somebody out on the ground, son of a bitch, could you imagine that woman manhandling you? Because let me tell you what, boys, even 2-on-1, she would fuck us up. That is a big, huge, juiced-out Brazilian jiu-jitsu champion. Fuck that noise.
Yeah, she used to be bigger. She cut weight, now she's ripped to shreds. The chick is just...
Who's the broad she's fighting?
Yeah, those fucking pictures are deceiving. They always have her in a nice pose. When she turns sideways, that bitch is thick. She has got big fucking biceps and huge fucking shoulders. What is she? She's like 6'3" or some shit, isn't she?
Who's the broad she's fighting? Is the broad she's fighting like a kickboxing champion or some shit?
Oh, it's Hulk Hogan.
Basically, she's a pro wrestler. She wrestles over at Ring of Honor, according to Jesse's the one that told me that. But
whoa! Like
big chick.
Like fake wrestling, like Brock Lesnar wrestling?
Pro wrestling. I haven't seen any of these rules. I haven't seen.
Kirby, it's not fake wrestling. The ending is predetermined.
Oh, time.
Oh, you fucking assholes that watch pro wrestling.
Sports entertainment.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm trying to find out exactly who she's fighting and the name of the chick, but for some reason it won't come up. When it does come up, I'll say it.
So
anyway.
All things considered, Bellator has made a fool of themselves once again. Sorry.
Yeah, and especially, like, imagine if they fucking, if that's just a dog shit card. If as we expect, Royce Gracie vs. Ken Shamrock sucks.
Bellator is like that goofy, dopey friend that everybody has. He's fun and he's entertaining, but nobody really takes him seriously, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to invite him to the party because he's going to say some weird, outlandish shit, but nobody really takes him seriously, so I'll tune in, I'll watch, because God knows I want to know what happens when those two fucking old dudes get in there to fight. But, realistically, it's a fucking joke.
I'm telling you what, I could definitely see that fight ending with an injury. Somebody's shoulder pops out, somebody's knee gets wrecked, something. I could actually see that where it doesn't even finish by finish. It's just like, oh, fuck, someone get the Absorbing Junior.
All right, so according to, I'm going off of SureDog.com here, Gabby Garcia has never fought MMA, so it's going to be her debut. And she's debuting against Saini Drawn, a.k.a. Lade Tapa. Okay.
Yeah, well, check this out. This is can you guys see this when I'm talking? This is her transformation.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, it's a fucking amazing transformation, but that bitch is still huge, dude.
She's still a big girl.
From what I understand, she's still close to 200 pounds.
She's 205, technically.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, she's a big girl. Imagine how heavy she was when she was huge.
Dude. Seriously, though, if she's ripped shitty like that and 205 pounds, that is fucking huge. That's John Jones, fellas.
That's interesting, though. Her fighting. Is it an MMA fight, Eddie?
It is an MMA fight, according to all sources here. But so here's the thing: the wrestling chick is 5'11", 205 pounds, and Gabby Garcia is 6'2", 205 pounds. So it's
a light heavyweight female MMA fight.
Could this possibly be the first one? Not first one ever, but the first one on like a big promotion.
Okay, Mike Jarvis, thank you very much for sending us the before and after of Gabby Garcia. Peace out, guys. I got to go to the bathroom for like 10 minutes.
I have no idea which way to take that.
I'm going to go throw up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. She was 235, apparently, is what Mike says. When she was a big girl. Man. That's retarded. I mean, sorry, that's ridiculous. It's just, anyway. All right.
Why can't it be retarded? Are you worried about retarded?
I'm not worried about anything.
Saying the word retarded on the show?
No, you know what it is?
Thanks. Now you can't say anything worse than what I just said.
All right, well that's retarded too. No, it's a fucking shitty habit from ex-girlfriend that was a special education teacher. Wouldn't let me say it. So anyway,
All right, on to something relevant. For fuck's sake, there was a UFC. Vitor Belfort beat the shit out of Dan Henderson. Come on.
Let's talk about it. UFC in Sao Paulo was UFC 77, whatever the fuck. We got Vitor Belfort against Dan Henderson, part 3. It was let's talk about Vitor Belfort right away. In the first round knockout of Dan Henderson, they were kind of like staring at each other. I don't know who it was that put it on Twitter. It was basically like you and your friend were playing Mortal Kombat, and you walked away for like 5 minutes to go get snacks, but didn't press pause. That's what it looked like for the first minute and change, right? And then Dan Henderson started throwing leg kicks for some fucking weird reason, and then Vitor Belfort murked him bad. So
okay, now Vitor Belfort has a limited shelf life left. Yeah, now he's
for sure.
He's kind of a glorified joke at this point because of the rapid detransformation or whatever you want to call it from TRT Vitor to Dad Bod Vitor. But now, how about this with Dan Henderson? Now, of course, we're not professional fighters, everybody watching the show. Please save the fucking comments. I know we've never had a fight. Nah, 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 nah. But seriously, how long are they going to let this shit go on? It's getting to be like fucking Big Nog, right? I don't want to see Dan fight anymore. I don't want to see him get knocked out anymore. Right?
Yeah, everybody says, everyone's been saying that on Twitter. Should Dan Henderson retire? Should he retire? And I mean, look at his record. Lost to Vitor Belfort, beat Tim Bosch in June, lost to Gegard in January, lost to DC in last May, beat Shogun by some miracle in March last year, and then 3 in a row, lost to Belfort, Evans, and Rashad Evans and Lyoto Machida.
I'm telling you what,
he's done.
I wish that he would have gone out on a shield with that fucking Shogun fight. That fight was fucking epic. That's still one of my favorite fights to watch, man. That was a back and forth. That was a battle. I love that fight. But now it's just getting to a point where, what is he like? How old is he? 43?
45.
45.
45?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So you know what? Here's my opinion with Dan Henderson, man. Dan Henderson is not relevant in the UFC no more. He's not going to make a run at any titles. I don't think that he can compete with the best in the world anymore. But he did just snuff out Tim Boach, who's no slouch. So,
no, he's not a slouch. But
but so here's the deal. You know what, man? With us talking about Bellator before and Bellator kind of needing to just fill this weird void for now, I think people like Dan Henderson, instead of taking them behind the barn, you send them out to the funny farm, Bellator, where all things are possible. And even somebody like Dan Henderson can go and who knows, man? They'll give him an interesting fight. Like, I would still like to see Dan fight. I think he can still compete, not against the likes of Vitor Belfort or Jacare or Lord knows anybody at 205. But if he went to Bellator, I think he'd fit right in. They could find him a good fight. He'll be starching fools. You know.
I think they should give him an office job in the UFC.
I'm enough with the office jobs in the UFC. As much of a Zuffa zombie as I am, I'm about tired of everybody that can't cut it no more. They're just like, here. What, he's going to go work with Chuck Liddell and Matt Hughes? I'd like to see what those two fucking pricks do all day. They need to come hang out with me.
Okay, I don't, you know, that's just like a euphemism, the job with the UFC. I just don't want to see Dan Henderson fight anymore. Okay, because let's look at the other side of your shiny coin there, Kirby. He does go to Bellator, and his first fight he gets snuffed by Shitty McFucking Shitbird. Well, that kind of fucking ruins his legacy, no?
Well, what the fuck? No more than it necessarily is now. And if he does go to Bellator, they're not going to give him fucking Frodo McBaggins or whatever the fuck.
No.
They'll hustle up somebody decent for him to fucking starch.
It's going to be Tito. I'm telling you right now. If he goes to Bellator, they'll fight Tito. Because that's what they do.
That makes me so happy.
You know what? Okay, I changed my mind. Get that sign that fucking contract. I can't wait for that show. Tito.
Hand over to Tito at Bellator, whatever the fuck, and I guarantee that thing gets a fucking ridiculous amount of people watching it.
Fuck yeah, man. I'd get a DVR just to DVR that bitch so I can watch it over and over again.
Oh, YouTube would be a motherfucker that day. All right, Munch wants to know. Munch MMA has a comment here on YouTube saying, there's no glory in beating up a 45-year-old, and Vitor was carrying on like it was a knockout of the century. Well, I mean, if you came in and all the shit they were saying about Vitor being all, flabby and shit, having, what do they call it, a dad bod, and then you start somebody, I mean, you'd probably be happy too.
Now, Munch, I know that you don't talk to me, but you talk to these other two. Let me clarify that statement. There's no glory in a professional fighter maybe snuffing a 45-year-old. I would be proud as shit if I could knock out Dan Henderson. That old man would fucking tear my asshole out. So, yeah.
Listen,
But,
I think it's hard to put much stock into Vitor's win because it literally happened in the first exchange of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Vitor threw one head kick and it landed right on the money. I won't call it luck, but Jesus Christ, they didn't even get into one grappling tussle. I'm not completely sold on Vitor in no stretch.
Didn't Dan have another loss like that just recently where it was like one shot, he landed on his back and Herb Dean saved him? That's
What
when
the fuck to Vitor?
when his eyelid got cut.
When was that?
Was that the fight before Boach?
You're talking about, let's see.
Fuck, I don't know. I can't recall.
Yeah, I can't recall that one either.
I know Hendo's been on a slide recently, so.
No,
Maybe I'm thinking about Shogun's last bad loss.
I think so, because the fight before Tim Boach, you got TKO'd against Gegard, and then rear naked choked against DC.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking about Shogun when he, I'm thinking about the OSP knockout of Shogun.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, that was, I remember that dude's face.
Okay, so Henderson, we're sending to Bellator. It's enough with him. Well, what the fuck are we gonna do with Vitor? I guess he's got to get a ranked opponent now. The cute little.
No, wait.
Right?
That was my caveat to what you were saying, Fred. It's not really that big of a deal, I guess, to beat Dan Henderson. And does this actually vault Vitor anywhere? I mean, really?
No, but Tim Kennedy wants to fight him.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Fuck yeah. Hey, there you go. That works.
I don't mind saying that at all.
All right, there you go. There you go, Joe Silva.
I like that fight. You know what? I love Tim Kennedy right now. I used to not like him at all, but he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say exactly what I want to say. If you want to let me out of my fucking contract, great. I'll go make money somewhere else. But until then, fuck you, Reebok. Fuck you, Dana. Suck my dick. I'm going to go find Hitler.
Yeah. I got to say, Tim Kennedy's like the asshole guy that gets a ton of pussy. And you always wonder how this dude's getting laid and he's a complete dickhead to these broads. That's Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy's like, fuck the UFC. I can make more money fucking picking trash up out of the yard. And they're like, oh, Tim Kennedy, you want to fight the winner of fucking Vitor Belfort, Dan Henderson? Let's give you a fucking title eliminator match because you won't stop running your fucking mouth.
So I just, oh God, I should not have looked at Twitter. Ken Shamrock put out a blog today that the title of it is Integrity, and I can't read it because there's no way. But
that's good enough.
Oh, check this out. Skimming through it. Here's a fucking fun line for you. About a quarter way through the actual blog post. It says, I learned a new term recently, troll. I found out that a troll is a hater who sows discord by stating arguments or upsetting people by posting inflammatory, unnecessary, or off-topic messages on the internet. Good job, douchebag. You finally found out what the fuck that was. I mean, what did he think all those people tweeting him were? Fucking just like, retards or something? Like they didn't know who they were tweeting?
I learned a new word today. Yeah. Apparently it's where you use numbers to add up stuff.
Get the fuck out of here with your cross eye and your weirdness. Nobody gives a shit. You notice he's been doing this lately? Chronicling his life? Ken, guess what? You're not interesting. You're not interesting. Go the fuck away. I'd rather hear Gary Goodrich's story again. And let me tell you what, that shit was hard to listen to.
I know, but fucking he's the thing, Ken Shamrock. I mean, this is like a midlife crisis type of shit that he's doing with these fucking blogs and chronicling. What he needs to do? Okay.
How old do you think this motherfucker's gonna live? He's past midlife.
Right. That's a good point. Hey,
all right.
Do the normal thing. Go buy a fucking convertible, dipshit. God damn.
Ken Shamrock, he didn't fucking outdo his welcome with the fucking Kimbo fight, but believe me, it's coming. This Hoist fight is the last time we're going to hear about fucking Ken Shamrock. So.
All right, so UFC, we already talked about the main event. What was the co-main? I forget.
Patrick Cummings and Glover Teixeira.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I love it when the real Durkin gets his ass beat. Did you hear what his corner said to him before Teixeira fucking donkey stomped him?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he's slow and tired. This is your fight. And he goes out, and Teixeira just fucking clobbers him. Oh my God, I love it when corners are just completely delusional. He's out of this fight. He's slow and tired. Yeah, he's probably tired from beating his fucking fist against your big ugly head. Jesus Christ.
And it was like this. Go ahead, sorry.
And coming into that second round, the old Durkin was fucked. At the very end of the first round, he got caught with a couple really big punches, and he was not recovered at all coming into that second round. So you're absolutely right. That's hysterical that they would tell him you got him right where you want him, because actually it was completely the other way around. Glover Teixeira was perfectly fucking healthy. He wasn't gassed at all, and Patrick Cummins was a sitting duck going into that second round.
Okay, if I was Patrick Cummins and I came to and watched that video, I'd be like, you fucking assholes, why do you do this to me? Why didn't you say fucking cover up? Dive for a leg. Fucking go
immediately
into survival mode. Don't put, I'm fucking half out, and then you chirp in my ear, you got him right where you want him. Okay, let's fucking do her.
You know, we've heard a lot of corners be real shitty in the UFC, man. You would think at the highest, you know, the biggest promotion, at that point, your corners would be figured fuck out. There's a lot of shit corners out there. Like, what was the worst that I've heard? I've heard, you fucking go out there and kick his ass, and I forgot who it was, but they were getting their ass whooped for the first 2 rounds. Fucking go out there and kick his ass. That was like the best that corner can come up with. I was like, motherfucker. Yeah, cover up. Go for a leg. Kick something.
But seriously, what are you going to say to a fighter who is abysmally losing a fight? Sit there and just be like, did you fucking listen to anything I said over the last 12 weeks? What the fuck are you doing?
Okay, so Glover Teixeira stomps out Patrick Cummins. I kind of was slightly high on Patrick Cummins. I didn't think that he would win this fight, but I had kind of been a little impressed with him. But after this fight, I think we've kind of seen where Patrick Cummins can go. When he first came into the UFC, he had a little bit of hype. He made DC cry one time on the Olympic wrestling match. So, and then he won a couple big fights or a couple decent fights or whatever. He looked okay. But is it safe to say that Patrick Cummins has this is it for him, kind of?
He's hit his ceiling.
Yeah, the ceiling's been met. He's not his way out of the UFC yet. They're gonna give him a couple interesting fights and then kick him out. But I mean, well, lost to Glover Teixeira, beat Rafael Cavalcante via TKO in the 3rd round. Got knocked out by OSP. Clearly, strikers are pretty fucking good against him. Mm-hmm. And if you can't take out Glover Teixeira, or at least take down and keep him down, you know, there's not much hope for that dude and with the rest of the division.
You remember how much hype used to be behind Glover, though?
Yeah, when they went to and then John Jones said, "Yeah, go ahead and give me that fucking, you know, that arm of yours. I'm gonna go ahead and pull your shoulder out while you're throwing punches, bitch. Let's see what your right hand, you know, fucking feels like now, motherfucker."
I tell you what, I do, just quickly getting off topic, I do miss John Jones. What a creative bad motherfucker. That motherfucker was so bad he flat jerked his shoulder out on some crazy shit just in the clinch. What a creative fighter, man. Jesus.
I'll tell you what, if he's when he comes back, he looks like he's been doing mad strength training.
Yeah, I know.
I swear to God, I think that he is coming back to hurt somebody. Dude. Like, I think that's what all this shit is so he can come back, and when he fights DC, it's not like a 5-round, oh, okay, that was competitive. I think he's coming back to fucking stomp some ass.
Dude.
Here's the thing. He never trained in between fights. He would only train in fight camp. That includes strength and conditioning. Now he's doing strength and conditioning in between. You know, before he even gets a fucking fight booked, he's actually training full time. This motherfucker's coming back, and he's gonna be scary as all hell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be just ridiculous.
That's terrifying. Okay, now next fight on the card. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Fucking Thomas Almeida dropped out our homie, Mr. fucking Burchek. So obviously, fucking Almeida's an animal. What are we going to do with these guys? Burchek has looked good. Obviously, he's not going to get cut. He's still promising, but he gets fucking pushed down the ladder. And more importantly and more interestingly, where the fuck does Thomas Almeida go from here? This fucking kid, the sky's the limit, right?
Well, yeah, rank number 6.
He's got to get a top 10 opponent after this fight.
He will.
Anything less doesn't make any sense.
All right, let's throw some names out there. He's at 35. He's at bantamweight. Who does Thomas Almeida get next?
All right, Thomas Almeida is ranked number 6 now, right? He went up 2 spots. So he's number 6 ranked in bantamweight. Brian Caraway is right under him.
Wait a second. Where was Burchak ranked?
He wasn't. Burchak wasn't ranked.
So Almeida was 8?
Yeah, he was 8.
And he got an unranked opponent.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Fair enough.
There's, I'm thinking maybe Hennen?
Okay, so he's number 6. Who's number 5?
Aljamain Sterling, but he's got a fight booked.
Who's he fighting?
I don't remember, some no-name motherfucker.
Okay. Who's 4?
Uriah Faber.
Damn, and 3?
Rafael Assunção, who can't stay healthy for shit, apparently.
God damn.
Hennen is number 2.
Where's Brian Caraway's funny ass at?
Right under him, number 7.
There we go. Let's let him snuff out Brian Caraway.
Come on, you think Brian's going to accept that shit? Brian's not going to take that fight. He's going to be like, no, Brian's requirements for a fighter has to be coming off an injury, okay, and has to be rusty as hell. Otherwise, he's not fighting.
Was the Pickett fight the one before the Burchak fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got vaulted into the top 10 by taking out Brad Pickett?
Yep.
Man, oh man, that's I hate to use the word Shark Tank, because not really, but I mean, his next step up might be a big fucking name for him. Uriah Faber or Hennen Barao?
I wouldn't mind seeing him against Faber, but I want to see him against Hennen Barao, but I don't know if they'll actually make that fight.
I don't want to see either one of those fights yet. I'll be honest with you. I really like Almeida, but not. I like the Caraway fight, man. Yeah. I don't want listen. Uriah Faber, for as easy as he is to kind of goof on at this point for all his failed title attempts,
I think Almeida would lose that fight.
Yeah,
I think that Uriah Faber would outpoint him. Point and run away.
Now, I think if they book that fight now, Almeida loses. They book that fight late next year, I think Almeida will kill Uriah Faber. And I do think that, 12 to fucking 16 months makes a major difference right now in a young fighter's development. Give him a Brian Caraway. It's really bad that Aljamain Sterling's booked right now, because that is actually a really good fight for Almeida. Almeida and Aljamain would make for a fucking fantastic fight right now.
In that one, I don't know. I don't think I'd bet against Aljamain. I wouldn't want to bet against Thomas Almeida either. But those guys, that's one of those where I'm worried about that fight, because those are both like rocketing stars right now. If Aljamain does really well in this next fight, and then finally gets to fight a highlight fight, because they are kind of throwing him shitbirds.
True.
But his talent is there and undeniable. He's one of those guys out of Serra Longo he's a good fucking fighter. He's no Eddie Gordon. You know what I mean? He's no fucking joke. Sorry, Eddie, but I mean, fucking come on. He's no joke. So I don't know if I'd want to see those two clash right now. The Brian Caraway fight makes sense, or what Eddie said, if you really want to throw the kid into deep waters, if he takes out Hennen Barao, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, he's the other one that I was thinking too, and you have to move to think. John Lineker, ranked number 12.
I think that he would fuck John Lineker right the hell up.
That's what I think so as well. But I'm with you, dude. I don't want to see Almeida versus Sterling yet, because I don't want to see two stars get especially at 135 cancel each other out or anything. But
that's interesting. I forgot about Lineker. He came up. Who'd he knock out in his first fight at 35?
Who, Lineker?
Yeah.
Pulling it up right now. By the way, Aljamain is fighting a guy named Johnny Eduardo.
Ah, that's the Muay Thai guy, right?
Yeah.
Lineker went fucking fisticuffs. They went just balls out in that fight.
It was Francisco
Rivera.
Right? Yeah.
He caught him in a guillotine choke.
That was a fun fucking fight.
Yeah, well, you know what? Actually, I can dig that fight. Almeida and John Lineker. Fuck it, man. John Lineker's kind of new at 35, so he was a big name at 25, but he's still new at 35.
And those boys, the way Lineker fights, those boys would be throwing fucking lather.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That'd be fun. All right, Eddie, call up Dana and book that fight.
Yeah, because I got a cell phone number. Let's move on.
Justin Huffman might. He is actually becoming legit.
Oh, if you guys haven't realized, Justin Huffman has been doing fucking work. He actually got to talk to Vitor, which is for some reason nearly impossible for a lot of people, but he fucking pulled that off. Especially if you're one douchewani. And his wife says, "Don't ask him these questions," and he goes, "Well, then I don't want him on my show."
You know what? Not to get on a tangent on our show, but I gotta just quickly disagree with you, Eddie. I thought that was kind of cool. Well, fucking Helwani being like, "Yo, we're gonna ask him these questions. If not, Vitor can ride the fuck off into the sunset. Like, we're not just gonna have that dude on and then not ask him what everybody wants to fucking know. Fuck that.
Fuck that, man. At least he's got a little bit of integrity. He's like, I can't ask him these questions. Well, then he can go on fucking Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Was anything else too relevant? Was anything too relevant on this card other than that?
Alex Oliveira gets a nice little third round knockout of Peter Hallman.
Yeah, Peter Hallman's gone. He was cute, but that's enough with him.
Here's a fun one. Gleason Tebow beats Abel Trujillo via submission and rear naked choke that really wasn't in.
That was bullshit.
Yeah, explain this to me now, because I saw Trujillo bitching about it.
All right, so Gleason Tebow had his back. He hurt Abel, right? Mm-hmm. And Gleason takes his back. He gets the rear naked choke, but you can see Abel's almost out of it. Like it only took him like maybe 20, 30 seconds to start getting out of the choke, and it wasn't even in that deep. And he started getting out of it, and I don't know what the ref was looking at, but he thought for a second that Abel was out. And he fucking waved the fight off. But he was this close to getting the fuck out.
Who was the ref?
Ooh, that's a good question. Find out. Okay, I can find out on here. But
I want to say it's that short little cat with all the tattoos. I could be wrong.
What, the ref? It was, I want to say it was Mazzagatti. Not Mazzagatti, the other one, Yamasaki. No, Keith Peterson. My bad.
Or no. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, after the fight, Andrew Reid was tweeting. We were tweeting back and forth about it. He was bitching about this Keith Peterson guy and how he always fucks up.
It was a bad call, man. That's for sure. Abel was definitely hurt, but he was fighting out of it for sure, and it looked like he was about to get out in that moment when the ref called the fight. So,
God,
I mean, man, we've talked about this ad nauseum. What are you gonna do? These fucking refs and the judges, man. You fucking.
You know what? When it's a huge ref fuck up, like I don't know. I hate to get into the whole idea of replay. Like the judges, maybe not. You can't do nothing about judges. But when refs make a blatant fuck up, there was no tap, there was no audible submission. They should be able to review the tape and be like, look, you just fucking blew that call. It's a technical draw or a no contest. Sorry, Gleason, you didn't win your 105th UFC fight. Abel, we're not going to count that against you, and let's just go on with life. Because that fucking loss stays on your record forever.
Yep, and
like a felony.
Huh?
Like a felony.
This fucking guy. All right. The rest of the card, there's really nothing huge on it. Munch making a comment here saying the choke was half in with one hand. So, yeah. I mean, Abel was getting out of that shit. He might have lost the fight anyway, but he certainly was going to lose it right there.
Guys, do we have an event coming up this weekend?
We do.
UFC. We got the big one, right? Ronda.
That's this weekend? That's 93?
Uh-huh.
UFC 193 from Melbourne, Australia. Headline, Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm. And co-headline, Joanna Champion, she wants to call herself, against Valerie Letourneau. As far as what's that?
I'm more excited about Jacek fighting Letourneau than I am Rousey fighting Holmes.
Okay. Here, listen. So obviously, let's not waste our time on the bullshit here. We all feel like Ronda Rousey is going to snuff Homegirl, and we all feel like Johanna is going to snuff fucking Letourneau.
Yep.
Here's a good question for all of our viewers and for us to discuss. Who's the bigger underdog?
Ooh.
Who's got a better chance? Who's got a better chance at pulling the upset? Because as bad as it is, I think Holly Holm has a better chance at beating Ronda Rousey than fucking Letourneau does at beating Johanna. I just don't know. That fight makes no sense at all.
I agree with you 100% because Holly Holm, if you look at her highlight reel, if she lands a head kick or a punch, could possibly knock out Ronda Rousey.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen Letourneau do anything ever.
At
That's
all.
impressive. Except for her jugs. The only thing that's impressive about her are her jugs. That's it. I've never been like, wow, look at that. Nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And when you see Jacek fuck up Cookie Monster, I mean, straight handle people, I'm telling you, fuck, man, I don't know. I think Chris Letourneau's in for a bad night. I think she goes out by TKO.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good night for Valerie. And I agree with you guys. Holm has a better chance, but I just still don't see Holm beating Rousey at all.
Well,
what did I call her? Christine? Valerie. Sorry.
Yeah, Chris.
Valerie, yeah.
I thought she was being cute.
All right. What's up? Yeah. Anyway, in the bypass prelims, the first fight is like Ryan Benoit's on there, but also James Moontasri's on this bypass prelims. That dude's fucking fun to watch.
He's always fun. Old Moonstastri. His fucking last name's even funner to say.
Yeah. Last time I forgot who he fought, where everyone confused his name because the other guy had like an Asian name, but he was a white dude.
Yeah. I remember that fucking I remember that fight.
And then Jake Matthews against Akbar Arioli as a feature prelim on FS1.
Ariola!
Oh, yes. I love it when Akbar Ariola. Do I still have that?
Listen, for the record, he's going to get snuffed in that fight, too.
Oh,
I think that's why they keep him around, is that fucking name of his.
You know what?
I will tell you this, though. If somehow Akbar Ariola snuffs Jake Matthews, his fucking train has ground to a absolute halt.
Yep.
Well, yeah, for sure.
And I can say this because I am Mexican. But Akbar Ariola is the weirdest fucking named Mexican on the planet ever in the history of ever. No, I don't. I've never. When I heard this fucker's name, I thought legit he was like Middle Eastern or something. And then I thought he was Mexican, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
And he's like, hey, Jack, he ain't with us.
And it's like, damn. No.
All right, instead of just yada, what is there any honorable mention fights on here? Is there anything that sticks out to you that we need to see?
Uriah Hall, Robert Whitaker.
Yeah,
that's a fight.
And let me just say, Uriah Hall. I don't know why I dislike him, but I dislike him. Robert Whitaker I like, but it doesn't seem like he fights to his potential. So, I mean, I think I like this fight. I really like it. But I do think Uriah Hall is going to get lucky with a spinning fucking whatever the hell. Mm-hmm. That'd be my guess.
Listen, here's the thing, man. I can tell you exactly why I don't like Uriah Hall. And I wouldn't say that I don't like him, but I would just say, here's the thing with Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall is one of these guys that relies heavily on, I don't know, quote-unquote special attacks, fancy type shits. And when they don't work, he's fucked. Mm-hmm. Some other guys, Anderson Silva was a lot like that. But the difference was, when one of his fancy fucking moves didn't work, he could actually do other shit. He could finish off of his back. He had a backup plan. When Uriah Hall's spinning back kicks don't work, and he doesn't land something big that hurts you, he starts to slowly but surely fold. And that's why, even though he got lucky and snuffed out Moose, and he might even beat Robert Whitaker, eventually he is going to get a fighter where he does not land some big fancy kick. And then it's just...
Let's be honest, against Mousasi, he got owned that first round.
Oh, yeah, he did.
That's what I'm saying.
He got owned. If Mousasi would have not ducked directly into that fucking kick, he would have got owned in the second and third round, too. Let's just be realistic. Yeah. So, exactly, that's what I'm saying. If Robert Whitaker can lay his hands on him and not fall prey to a spinning attack, because that's what it is, that spinning back kick that knocked what's-his-fuck's head right off his shoulders.
Yeah.
And that's what he's known for, that spinning kick. If you stay the fuck away from that, chances are Robert Whitaker has a lot of talent.
Yeah. Munch is apparently a big Uriah Hall fan because he says, no, he's going to murk Whitaker, haters.
Listen, he may murk Whitaker, but that would not be in his best interest because I'm telling you right now, Munch, mark the words coming out of this pretty mouth. After he beats him, he's going to get his ass busted by somebody at 85. He will not keep pulling that fancy bullshit off. I promise you. Uriah Hall has a very noticeable ceiling, and a lot like Mr. Patrick Cummings, Uriah Hall is going to hit that ceiling here really soon.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
And then one more fight I guess we could talk about here because Struber Rajhold not really worth talking about, I don't think. But Mark Hunt against Bigfoot Silva Part 2.
What is that
on? Huh? That's on the main card. It's the third fight.
Okay.
But it's Mark Hunt is down mad weight, dude. Have you seen any of his videos where he's training out in Thailand? He looks like he lost a good amount of weight, and he's quicker. And of course, Bigfoot's off TRT, allegedly.
Okay, and that's all fine and dandy, but my question to Mark Hunt, why now, man?
Yeah.
You had a fucking legit chance at the goddamn title.
Yeah.
You didn't go to fucking Thailand and bake your big old Samoan ass down in the sun then? You didn't get yourself all fucking ripped shitty and in all sorts of cardio shape. Now that you've had your fucking brains pounded in, now you decide at the end, at the fucking sunset of your career, that's when you finally decide to get into shape? What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. So
that being said, he's going to fucking knock the dog shit out of Bigfoot.
Oh, he retires Bigfoot in this one. There's no way Bigfoot sticks around after he loses this one. I don't think, anyway.
This is not a fight that I'm all that excited for. I suppose it's better than nothing, but I mean...
Hunt is going to fucking massacre Bigfoot.
All right, real quick. What do you guys think about Ryan Bader against Anthony Rumble Johnson? It's official, by the way. But yeah.
It makes my penis hard. I can't wait to see Darth Vader get kicked in his face. You know what? Some guys just rub you the wrong way, and old Darth Vader's that guy, man.
I'll tell you what, fucking Anthony Johnson better get his goddamn cardio up, because if I see Ryan Bader wet blanket Rumble for 3 fucking rounds, I am gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Ryan Bader says he's gonna do. Ryan Bader pretty much said he's gonna DC Anthony Johnson.
But he's not going to do it as well as DC, because you ain't going to see Anthony Johnson fucking flip end over end in the ring. What we're going to see is Bader versus OSP2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's easy to say that you're going to do what DC did to somebody, but there's only one DC, man, and Bader's not that guy. And quite frankly, I think AJ's a horrible matchup. I think that the only way Bader can win is if he wet blankets him, and quite frankly, I don't think he's going to be able to. Anthony Johnson is a strong motherfucker, at least in that first round. DC is the exception to the rule. You know what I'm saying? Most people cannot do that to Anthony Johnson, and I don't think Bader will. He's going to make Bader stand with him, and he's going to fuck Bader up.
Personality-wise, I can't stand DC, and I can't wait for John Jones to get his title back. But when he did the same thing to Gus that he did to Hill, I was like, God damn, that is just some fucking brute-ass retard strength.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan said about Matt Hughes, that is amazing to be able to tip that man. Like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
All right, and the last thing here we could talk about today, Crow Cop pulls out of UFC Fight Night 70, I think it was, shoulder injury, and then retires. Retired.
That's fine. His last fight was him beating the fuck out of Gonzaga, right?
Yeah, it was a win.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. How is that? Yeah, I totally agree. That should have been his swan song anyways. And how poetically great, right? Because I remember that first Gonzaga fight. That's one of those things I'll never fucking forget, because I was one of those hipster MMA assholes that was like telling everybody, just wait, this fucking Crow Cop guy, he's going to come in, he's going to kill Couture, he's this fucking Croatian machine, and bam, he gets fucking killed by some shitbird named Gonzaga, and I look like a fucking asshole. So, and obviously, everybody in the MMA world kind of felt like that. Crow Cop was this big thing, and nothing panned out the way it should have. For him to come back and get that win back in such a day, he fucked Gonzaga up, too. He fucking opened him up with them elbows, and that's the perfect fight for him to go out on. No, so who was he going to fight? Anthony Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Come on.
Now here's the one theory. What's his name? Baron Rothwell's really fucking excited on Twitter right now. Hasn't put out what the fuck he's excited about, but apparently he says something about the UFC. So we're assuming he's gonna have a fight, right? People are saying.
I heard he got turned down.
Turned down or turned out?
How would I know if he got turned down? Turned down turned down to save that fight.
Right. So I don't think it's that fight, but is it possible JDS or Overeem got injured, and maybe he got that fight? Because it's possible.
Possibly.
I think Overeem could get hurt.
I tell you what, yeah, if anybody got injured, I would bet money on Overeem pulling out. Yeah. I tell you what, hypothetically, he better not have, because if he does, he's going to be the biggest. JDS is going to be, you know what? It's enough with this guy. He's a fucking pussy. He's never going to fight me.
Hey, you know what? I'll tell you this too. I wouldn't be so excited if I was big old Ben Rothwell fighting JDS.
Oh no, no.
I'm sorry,
no.
my dude, but you have just stepped out of the you stepped out of your depth.
yeah, in a major way. I suppose that Big Ben does punch hard, and you know his nickname is Big Ben. But yeah, technically speaking, JDS is so far ahead of him with his boxing that he will light Big Ben's funny ass up on the feet before he even knows what's happening.
Here's a nice little quote for you from Rumble Johnson, real quick. Rumble Johnson vows to take Ryan Bader's soul, and then incidentally, right after I read that, Munch comments over R.I.P. Vader. So.
Well, that's one thing he's got fucking right.
So if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, Anthony Rumble Johnson might be the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Possible.
Or Shang Tsung in blackface. I'm just saying.
He's mean.
Okay.
He's mean as fuck. All right. And then, oh fuck, here we go with the GSP shit. Apparently GSP is doing some kind of like 6-week camp, and
Okay,
then
yeah.
Freddie Roach says he can come back. Exactly.
Yeah, listen, man. I don't know. Where there's smoke, there's fire, man. Maybe he is coming back. I mean, maybe he'll come back for one big fight.
All you have to do is say GSP and I get narcolepsy.
Listen, usually I do agree, but like, why now? Why are they even mentioning it, man? Why the fuck? I mean, Freddie Roach does say some weird shit, but
Yeah.
First off, Freddie Roach, just stick with boxing, my dude. Just fuck off, okay? Second off, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? The man has been gone, what now, more than 2 years?
okay. So you're right. Nobody gives a fuck. He's not relevant. And even from what I understand, if he does come back, it's not to chase the title. So let's all just get right to the fucking brass tacks of everything. Would you like to see GSP come back and fight Anderson Silva?
That's the only fight I want to see with GSP.
If they can do it, does that make any kind of sense at this point? Because we all know that's the only fight that
No, and I'll tell you why. Because of the Anderson-Diaz fight. We saw what Anderson Silva looked like against Diaz. So I can already tell you, GSP's going to drive for a hard double leg, take Anderson down on his back. Anderson's not been typically great at getting off of his back once he's there, i.e. Chael Sonnen. Mm-hmm. And we're going to watch GSP butt fuck Anderson Silva for 25 minutes?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You're not going to, for as much as I dislike the guy, you're not going to catch GSP in a submission.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
All that being said, if he does come back, that's the fight I want to see. I surely don't want to see him against, actually, maybe him and Rory could be kind of fun. If they can get him to take that fight.
Fight each other.
Well, that's why I said it would be fun, hypothetically.
They wear each other's jock straps. Are you kidding me?
I knew that was coming.
All right, fellas. All right, you guys anything else you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, getting the fuck off this show.
All right, yeah, we've gone for, we're kind of at our time limit, right at 57 minutes. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. You can go to crossroadsmma.com. You can catch the replay there, or just on here. Just hit, refresh on the page once the video's over. You can follow Kirby at Kirby_MMA. Myself at Elaw31. Does Mr. Robbins want to put out his Twitter?
Yes, I'm at Doc_Robbins MMA. Please give me lots of follows and communicate with me, because I'll get right back to you.
If you didn't catch that, he's not going to get back to you. Anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be it for us. Shout out to Fightbook MMA. Shout out to Munch for all the comments and all the cool shit he's been doing for us. Appreciate that, man.
We do appreciate that, Munch. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely do. And everyone have a good night. We'll catch you guys tomorrow with In the Pocket. So for myself, Mr. Fred Kirby, Aaron Robbins, everyone have a good night, and we'll catch you guys next week.